Hello and welcome to Forever Motorsports. Formula One is back after the mid-season, the summer break. We are finally back to racing, and everything returns this weekend. It's heating up, isn't it? It's going to be a very, very interesting second part of the season because we're halfway through with regards to where the season actually is. And this weekend, as we return to Europe, it is the Netherlands this weekend, and very interesting to see. We've had four drivers win a Grand Prix since Max Verstappen last won. The last time Max Verstappen won was the 23rd of June, by the way, in Spain. So it's been a very interesting Formula One season. And the question is, as we return from the break, are we going to see Red Bull try and reestablish that dominance? Are we going to see Mercedes continue their rise, having won 3 of the last 4 Formula One races, and McLaren having won one of those as well? So it's been a very interesting season with so many different winners, for example, and no sort of clear favorite to see who is going to finish, for example, second. Max Verstappen very much still leading the drive standings. We're going to look at all the various different standings as well. But the Constructors' Championship, for example, is wide open. Ferrari not quite managing to sort of keep the momentum that Mercedes and McLaren started to build up. So I think we're in for a very interesting remainder of the season. Before we have a look at exactly what some of the race results were, what the standings are, please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Let's go take a look, shall we, at the race results. So things all started very normally for Red Bull, with Max Verstappen winning the first 2 races before Carlos Sainz won in Australia. Max Verstappen responding by winning the next 2 races in Japan and China before Lando Norris finally got that win in Miami, which really got the McLaren season going. It was followed by another win for Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc then finally winning his home Grand Prix in Monaco. Massive moment for him, and kind of really felt that might have been the time for Ferrari to kick on and to start performing. Very much not the case. In fact, they've been pretty awful since Monaco. It was then the Red Bull of Max Verstappen that won Canada and Spain before the season really started getting interesting. So before then, we had Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, and Lando Norris, the only other drivers who had won races, and obviously only the 3 teams there: McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull. Since then, however, we have not seen a Red Bull win, we've not seen a Ferrari win, we've seen McLaren win just once, but we have seen Lewis Hamilton win twice, and we've seen Mercedes win 3 times. So as a result, this is how things do stand. We look at the driver standings. Max Verstappen still pretty far out ahead, but after that, it's getting quite congested, isn't it? Lando Norris has overtaken and starting to pull away from Charles Leclerc. He's got 199 points, and Charles Leclerc behind him on 177. But breathing down his neck is the teammate of Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, with 167 points. After that, Carlos Sainz with 162, and Mercedes not far behind of Lewis Hamilton. So this race over here to try and see who can try and catch Max Verstappen is an interesting one, because whilst he sits quite a long way ahead with about 78 points, you've then got less than 40 points sort of separating 1 and 5. So that in itself is a race that's very interesting. After that, in terms of just looking at the rest of it, Sergio Perez will not vacate a seat. He will be in a Red Bull this weekend. That has been confirmed, and he needs to start notching up some points, because George Russell is not far away from overtaking him, and cannot have Max Verstappen out there leading the solo charge with Sergio Russell's teammate down in 7th. After that, the Aston Martin sitting in 9th and 10th of Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll. Look right at the bottom over here. Zhou Guanyu, Valtteri Bottas, no points so far. He's in Alexander Albon, the only Williams driver to get some points. Williams, however, having confirmed that Carlos Sainz will be joining them. That's a massive announcement, massive move from them. They need to do a lot better, because if we go and look at the Constructors' Championship, for example, this is how things stand. Williams sitting with just the 4 points. But this, for me, is where things really get interesting. You've got Red Bull at the top with 408 points, but McLaren in catching distance, 366. Ferrari not far behind with 345. Mercedes a bit further behind. So the race for the constructors at the moment very much between Red Bull, McLaren, and Ferrari. With the way Mercedes, however, have been coming up the last few races, don't rule them out. After that, sort of in the middle of the year, you've got Aston Martin. So things kind of very much as you kind of expect in terms of who the top 5 is. Before the season, you'd probably think Ferrari being second, then maybe McLaren, and Mercedes. Nobody expects too much from the season, but the fact that they have won, I think it's like 3 of the last 4 races, very much announced to everyone that they are potentially very much back. And is Lewis Hamilton regretting his move to Ferrari? We'll have to wait and see. Alpine sitting in the 8th place above Williams. I think they're at a very, very poor season. Haas have been very average. And RB, well, Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda not having the best time as teammates. But Daniel Ricciardo himself not having his best time in general. If we look at some of the fastest laps, for example, kind of sort of mimicking the fact of how open the season has been, Sergio Perez did set the fast lap in Belgium, got an extra point there, something he has not been doing throughout the season. The only time he has gotten that extra point for the fastest lap. But it's been quite a nice mixture of cars and teams. Fernando Alonso on 2 occasions getting that fastest lap as well. If we have a look at the schedule, and let's have a look at exactly where we are. So, for example, we're sitting down here with the Netherlands this weekend, and there'll be another Formula One next weekend. So after the break that we've had was about 3 weeks, we're going back-to-back Formula Ones. It will be in Italy next weekend. Then there'll be a break, and then we're going to go once again back-to-back weekends. It's going to be Azerbaijan, Singapore, and then in October things are going to be quite busy because we're going to go 18 to 20 October, a week later in Mexico, a week later in Brazil. Then we have one last sort of break, and then we go bang, 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 Las Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi. So, yeah, not a lot of weekends where we're not going to have Formula One action. I think about 4-5 weeks of the remainder of the year where there's no racing until we finish. And the finish happens as late as the 8th of December. So, lots and lots of races, and very, very interesting how the different legs we're going to see. For example, we saw how good that Las Vegas race was last year. And hopefully, by the time we get there, there'll be jeopardy, and there'll be a lot at stake when it comes to that race. So we look at this weekend, for example. Obviously, Friday things get underway at 12:30, and with the first pre-practice, we'll be live for that. Pre-practice 2 at 4 o'clock that day, and then on Saturday, 11:30 will be pre-practice 3, qualifying Saturday 3 o'clock, and then your feature race at 3 o'clock on Sunday. So lots to look forward to. Very exciting that the Formula One is back, and the main thing is, let's look at, these podiums, for example, lots of different people. But the one thing that you see quite consistently over here is the McLarens always seem to feature. In fact, I think it's only about 2 or 3 races where they actually haven't been on the podium. Japan being one of them, Saudi Arabia being another, and Bahrain. So 3 races where McLaren is not featured on the podium, which shows you how competitive they are. Ferrari did get on the podium with Charles Leclerc, but before that was only Austria. And if you look at the last 6 races, featuring on just 2 podiums. After Monaco, where they went 1 and 3, really thought that hopefully kick on. Not been the case. So as a Ferrari fan, very frustrated. But for everybody else, it's good to see. I think as a general Formula One fan, things are competitive, which is what we want to see. So we are back as a channel. Formula One is back. Let me know, who do you think is going to take the Constructors' Championship? That's what I want to know down in the comments below. Can anybody potentially catch Max Verstappen? Let me know as well. Please do smash like on the way up. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We are back for the second half of the season. Hope you guys are joining us for the rest of it, and we'll see you guys all very soon.